All of our Blue Lock cast is known for having some crazy abilities and weapons, but which is truly the best? So in today's video, I ranked every single weapon in Blue Lock from worst to best. So sit back, relax, and let's hop into the video. Now for our F tier, we only have 2 weapons because there's only 2 so bad they personally insulted me. First up, in our absolute last place, as a surprise to absolutely no one, we have Kira's ability. What that weapon is, you may ask? It's being the #1 crybaby in the entire series. The ability to bitch and moan about Isagi and everyone else as if you're not just dog shit blows my mind. You all know I hate on Kunigami and other characters in this manga, but my hatred towards those other characters couldn't even hold a candle to this bum. Next up, we have this walking tub of lard from episode Nagi with seemingly the weapon of being fat. I don't know. Maybe he can run into people and knock them over or something. Or just straight up ace them. I don't know. But these are the only 2 weapons in my F tier. Now in the C tier, we have Igaguri's flopping ability. Now, honestly, I wanted to put this higher because in super niche uses like the PXG game, it can be kinda insanely clutch. The only problem is if the enemy is aware of it, they can easily avoid it. The only reason Rin fell for it twice is because he was going full schizo monkey mode at the end of the game. Now, kind of a weird one, when the Met tier, we have super height. This is very pivotal in like basketball, but in football, it's not that useful. Like, we've seen some cool plays because of being super tall from certain players like Agi and Ishikari, but truthfully, the weapon itself is just eh. Plus, in real life, the greatest player to ever do it is a 5'4" hyper autistic Giga Chad, so yeah, it just doesn't matter that much. Now we finally entered the good tier. These are the weapons that are pretty solid. If you have any of these, you can be of decent use to your team. In 37th place, we have muscle or extreme strength. This is a great ability to have to box people out, but just like height, there's just so many ways around it. Pretty much no one in Blue Lock has this except maybe Baro and Kunigami. But even then, that's not really why either of them are that good. Football is a very contact-heavy sport, I get. But once again, in real life, the absolute best players usually aren't blocks of meat. Tokumitsu is a perfect example. He's super strong, but he's still super ass. Next up, though, we have Yukimiya's Euro shot, or gyro, I don't know how to say this.
A gyro shot?
It's a cool shot, but once people know the trick to it, it becomes a lot less effective. Now in 35th, I want to put higher for my Goat Raiji, but I'm putting infinite stamina. Now in real life, this is probably better than Blue Lock, considering we rarely see the main cast burn out in a real game, but I still think it should get some credit because my glorious Goat Raiji has pulled a lot of shit out of his ass from just monkeying on people, never giving them a moment to breathe. Next, in 34th, we have spring-like limbs, or basically just Gagamaru's body structure. Being able to launch yourself like a spring in any direction proved to be useful in the very beginning of the story for clutch goals, but obviously where it really shines is being in goal. Once Gagamaru was put in goalie, it felt destined to be because this brother is cracked at it. Then we have spatial awareness, or being able to smell a goal. This is the ability only for the select few extremely smart characters like Isagi in season 1 and 2. This ability allows one to have some of the best position in the entire field and be a great playmaker. Isagi, for example, without being too strong in his own, was able to overpower season 1 Ryo and Nagi with this, almost beat Ren in the 2nd selection, and even surpassed everyone in the 3rd selection. Overall, it's a great ability to have, but if this is your peak, you'll never be a world-class player. Spatial awareness is the baby fetus version of a much more powerful ability you will see later on this list. Now, kind of a weird one, we have Naruhara's original ability in getting behind someone. Isagi stole this ability and enhanced it in the 2v2 match, and even to this day is still using it to great success against world-class players, as weird as that sounds. Now, finally, at the top of the good tier, we have Chigiri's 44-degree shot. Now, I don't know how many diehard Chigiri fans there are that will be mad at me for saying this, but the reason it's not that much higher is pretty simple. This shot is just too restrictive. It has to be in such a specific spot for it to work. Sure, it's a great side weapon to have if you're able to get there undefended, but if the defense is aware of that golden spot, I don't see how it'll work out so well. My point is, why have this like one specific golden zone if you could just be like Kaiser or Ren who could just do this from anywhere? Now, finally, we've made it to the A tier. These are the weapons or abilities that are amazing. First off, this one is kind of hard to rank, but I give it to Isagi's protagonist vision. This was the realization that everyone around him viewed themselves as the protagonist to their own story, and once he realized this, he calculated how each of these guys would want their story to go. Once adding that on top of his thinking, he was able to read players like Nagi and Ryo, Kaiser, and even Yukimiya. Overall, a cool ability. The only issue with it is the fact that he has to actively know the players in the field for it to have maximum effectiveness, which means it probably won't be as effective against new opposition. But if in the future he's pro for a while and gets to know everyone better, it'll be a stronger power to have. Next up, a kind of weird one since we literally barely saw anything from it, but I'm putting Ryu's martial arts defense within only 14 days of practice, Ryu has become the world's best judoist, barely trying, and is combining that with his football IQ. He becomes an unpassable wall in one-on-one showdowns. Onazi is Nigeria's ace-star player, and even he was rendered more useless than a newborn baby when facing off against the glam goat himself. So for these reasons, I'm putting Ryu's massive cock defense in 29th place in the amazing tier. Next in our 28th place, we have Baro's unique chop dribbling. He developed this weapon in Season 1 when pushed to the absolute breaking point, with Isagi dropping his fat nuts in his face, where he takes extremely hard cuts while dribbling to get past opponents. It's a cool ability, but Baro is nowhere near the top tier dribblers in the story, so it definitely deserves a spot in the amazing tier, but pretty much any other dribbling style in the story is better than this. Speaking of another stronger form of dribbling, we have Ness's ankle dribbling. Ness has super flexible ankles, which allow him to dribble while changing direction super easily. He gets behind a defender, then rapidly accelerates passing them. People forget in Bastard he's the absolute best player on the team, only behind Kaiser because of his dribbling and passing. His nickname is literally Ness the Magician because of the way he's able to move in the field. Even Isagi himself described Ness as the heart of Bastard. Now, once more, I don't know if the Chigiri fans will get super angry with me, but I'm putting his super speed in the amazing tier. Keep in mind this is not the same weapon as Loki's godlike speed, which is much higher, but having the ability to run this fast is still an insanely good ability to have, no doubt, since he can kind of just ignore 90% of players fairly easily. When having this ability, you can even pass yourself and catch up to the ball passing people. It's pretty crack. Here's the problem though. When your only weapon is speed like Chigiri, there are just too many downsides to it. First and foremost is the issue. It can't really punch up at the moment. If he versus someone smarter than him like Isagi in the Manshine game, or even someone as fast as him like in the France game, he's basically rendered useless. Like, it's definitely cool to be able to farm 90% of the verse. The problem is when you get no diff by the last 10%, there's only so high I can give it. The other issue I didn't even mention is when you're running full speed, you will lose stamina extremely fast, which we've already seen affect him a few times. Now, another form of dribbling ranked even higher than Ness is Lorenzo's zombie dribbling. Lorenzo is a new Gen 11 player I love to slander most, but in this category, he's even higher than the previous with his dribbling at least. Because he's built like a piece of cooked pasta, when he dribbles, he sways back and forth, super weirdly throwing defenders off guard. Raichi, a super good defender, could barely read him because in his own words, he can't read the center of gravity because it seems like his lower and upper halves are moving separately from one another. Now, this next one is truly kind of hard to rank. It's being ambidextrous. The reason this is so hard to rank is like so many people at different skill levels have it. Being able to shoot, pass, etc. with both legs is extremely helpful, don't get me wrong. If the only reason Noah was good was his ambidextrous abilities, then Nanase should be insane too, but you know, he's shit. Noah's dual-legged ability is just a bonus to make him stronger. It's not the reason he's the world's best. Regardless, being able to play make from either side literally doubles your options and potential in any given position. But yeah, truthfully, this was one of the hardest weapons to rank because of how wide the skill gap is in between people who have it. So if you want to rank it higher or lower, I wouldn't stop you. And then finally, at the top of the A tier, we have Predator Eye. It was introduced as seemingly the opposite to Metavision, but this is vastly worse than max power Metavision. Basically, what Predator Eye does is narrow your vision to just a goal and goalie, allowing you to notice the slightest amounts of hesitation in your opposition, and the second you see the narrowest of gaps, you can seize that half-second chance to strike with a goal. We first see it in the Ubers match where Baro uses it against Kagamaru. He's distracted, not knowing who has the ball. Within that 1 second of self-doubt, Baro sees it and strikes, scoring. It's a cool ability, no doubt, but it can't hold a candle to Metavision, which elevates literally every element of your game to a higher dimension, in the words of Isagi himself. It just doesn't have that much aura because 3 of the 5 times it was shown, the person did nothing with it. Yukimiya gets it at the end of the Pikachu game just to get blocked by a Metavision user. Mirinda unlocks it just to get blocked by a Metavision user. And then finally, Onazi unlocks it just to, you guessed it, get blocked by a Metavision user. So my point is, it is an amazing ability in the hands of people like Baro and Kaiser, but it's just not strong enough to be in the world-class tier of weaponry.
Listen here, monkey. If you want peak entertainment for very cheap, go to the Patreon in the link down below, where we're reacting to One Piece and the block manga every day, $5 a month. Check it out.
Now we have entered the very bottom of the world-class abilities and weapon tier. And now I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm giving Otoya's ninja movements 22nd place. Now, truthfully, you could definitely argue this lower. The only reason I'm putting up here is I never glaze Otoya, so for just this once, I'll throw him a bone. And the only reason I'm actually glazing him is because this ability was actually able to no-diff the world's #2 player, Chris Prince. If it can work against the second best player in the world, I feel like it wouldn't be too crazy to call it world class. Then our third best dribbling style in all of Blue Lock. And I know what you're thinking. Toby, how could Bach Churras be the third best. Calm down, monkey, and just trust me when I say the other two are hard clear. But enough of that right now. In 21st place, we have Megumi's style of Ginga dribbling. This is a freeform style of dribbling where creativity takes over and miracles can be made. Bachira uses this style to farm teams at or below his level. Here's the problem though. Whenever he fights a team stronger than him, he cannot punch up at all. He doesn't do shit and gets subbed out right away. Listen, I love him and all, but I just feel like it's his fate in the story to be a stepping stone compared to the actual top tier players. But that's not to undermine his dribbling skills. I still put them at the world class tier for a reason because he can compete at some of the highest levels with it. But I just don't think I can put it any higher than this at the moment. Now, breaking our way into the top 20, this is the one I'm actually the least sure about ranking, but it's Snuffy's ball handling technique. Using martial arts, he's become the best in the world at holding onto the ball, which is extremely strong, but I just don't know where to rank it. Because on its own, you can't be near the best in the world without being amazing at so many other things to make the weapon useful. Anyone who's watched a lot of football in their life, comment down below where this should be after you see what I have at the top and where it should be in comparison, because ball keeping is a lot harder for me to scale versus something like scoring, defending, assisting, dribbling, etc. Next up, we have the ability to completely self-sacrifice like how Karasu did it in the France game. France is undoubtedly the strongest team in the U20 World Cup, and BlueLock was seemingly powerless, getting their cheeks spread by them until Karasu adopted this mindset. Once Karasu completely abandoned his own goal and thought of ways to set up his team only, he broke through France's defenses with an insane assist to Hiyori. This shit was straight up cracked when I first saw it. Even Hugo said if Hisagi were to take up this mindset, they could also hold their own and potentially beat France. This is an extremely strong mindset, but it will put a cap on the potential of the world's best type growth. So, like Ego said, going down this path probably isn't the best, but even still, you can't deny its raw effectiveness that we saw in this game. Now, one step above this mindset slash play style is Isagi's final mindset at the end of the NEL. I said this in my previous video, but I truly believe this is the absolute best mindset and way to play the game. Throwing away all useless petty emotions and do literally whatever you can in order to win the match. Isagi absolutely hated Kaiser, but even still put his feelings to the side to team up with him and ultimately win the game. They would have lost otherwise. Now, truthfully, this is more of a mindset than a weapon. Fuck it, it's my video, I'll do what I want. Next up, this is kind of a weird one, but I have jumping, as we see from Onazi and Bunny. Now, before anyone says anything, yes, Bunny jumps and is a crazy pro, but that's all we've seen from him so far. And what I mean by that is, yes, it does seem like one of his main weapons is jumping high for goals, but I highly doubt that's the only reason he's so strong. Listen, in the future when they face off, if his main ability is just jumping, then sure, we can raise it. But as of now, just going for jump goals is our 17th spot. Being able to jump super high in the air, going for flying shots is insanely strong though, because realistically, who can even contest when you're that high in the air? Also, as we saw with Onazi, it can straight up double your effective shooting range, allowing you to shoot from incredibly far away. But once again, there's no way this is his only weapon that makes him a rival to Sai. And if so, then it could rank way higher on the list. Just as of now, we haven't seen enough of it. And the only person who has done it a lot was Onazi, but BlueLock spread his cheeks, so I don't know. Now, just outside for our top 15, we have Luck. Luck is an actual weapon we see utilized in BlueLock. First, Rin showed us how it worked in the second selection, and from that point, Maigo Isagi knew how to seize it, using it to win his team the U20 match and win faster than Neo Egoist League. If you were to get shit on by a pigeon, but later realize you were standing under a cable with them all over it, could you really say it was bad luck? Maybe, but you still put yourself in that spot. Knowing how to position yourself at the most likely outcome of a random event is how you seize luck for yourself. For example, if you look at m0NESY playing as a professional CSGO player, he hits this insane no-scope random shot through the door, killing someone top mid. Now, a lot of people would say it's just blind luck, which is half true, but he is smoked off mid knowing they're all behind these doors, so he just tries it out. Most players wouldn't even go for it because it wouldn't cross their mind. You can't get lucky unless you put yourself in situations to get lucky, and that's what Isagi realizes better than anyone else in BlueLock so far. So yeah, as Ego says, the goddess of luck only comes down upon those who reach for her, and being able to weaponize it as Isagi does so consistently is undoubtedly a world-class weapon. Next up though, my GOAT Yoichi Isagi's direct shot. You know, somehow I almost forgot to rank this when putting this list together, but this shit is underrated as fuck. Being able to perfectly aim the ball without taking a first touch is actually so insane people don't realize. The direct shot is a weapon Isagi has that even people like Rin or Kaiser can't do to the same degree. Not even real life pros are as good as Isagi at this. In real football, Pro players only convert these hard direct shots around 30 to 40% on the high end, whereas Isagi makes all of them with ease, always putting them top left or top right bin. His direct shot basically allows him to skip the part of the play where he needs to set the ball up, and being able to save yourself even half a second is crucial. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, have someone pass the ball to you in midair and just try to swing your leg into it and score. Most people are missing horribly. I was at a park with my friend and went for a direct shot, literally right in front of their goal, and I mistimed it by like 0.1 second, and it went straight up into the atmosphere over the 30-foot fence and into the woods. Shit was so cooked. People do not give Isagi's technique enough credit because it's not as flashy or fancy as someone like Ren Shido. But Isagi's final volley of the Neo Egos League had even Kaiser himself calling it an incredible shot technique. If even Kaiser is calling it incredible, give it some credit. And then upgrades it even more, hitting a side shot mid-air volley against Nigeria in the U20 World Cup. Yeah, wrap this shit up. He's my glorious GOAT for a reason, bro. Now, a step added to his direct shot is his two-gun volley. After becoming semi-ambidextrous, we now see him use this insane move against Ren and Kaiser in the Pikachu game, being able to feint with either his left or right leg, and even before landing, shooting with the other. This is one of the most broken, disgustingly insane moves I've ever seen whipped out, because now having this, the defender is going to have to worry about a left direct shot, a right direct shot, a left feint into a right direct, or a right feint into a left direct. As a defender, this is a nightmare knowing what Shaw will use at any given moment. Also, have you guys seen what this shit looks like? Like, genuinely, what buttons are bro pushing on his controller to move his legs like that? I could not do that shit to save my life. When he hit Ren with that, he couldn't believe what he saw. Karasu couldn't believe it. Tokamitsu called him a monster. Raichi's out here busting in his pants. Nana's shitting himself. Shido's getting turned on. Hiyori's hype. No Noah was so impressed he subbed out Kaiser's help for more Isagi support. And even Kaiser himself, a top 5 bare minimum shooter in the entire world, called it an obliterating shot and was shitting himself thinking he could lose to Isagi. Yeah, I've said enough, bro. This shit is peak. If one of the best strikers in the world describes your new shot as obliterating, you definitely cooked. And now we're in their top 13. This weapon is what I'm calling hyper accuracy, but it's basically just Ren's near perfect shooting ability. Unlike Isagi's two-gun volley that can be stopped with specific pressure and positioning, and there's literally nothing you can do to stop Ren's shot courses. Ren Itoshi has the simple ability of putting the ball literally wherever he wants in the goal from at any given angle. Oh, you think you blocked his shot course? Well, no, it'll just hit a cross-map Trivelo shot into the top left corner of the net. Like, what can you even do if no matter what you do, this guy always has a shot course? There's really not much to say about Ren's hyper accuracy, as it's just super simple but disgustingly effective. Now, this next one, I don't really know if I should put it above or below Ren's hyper accuracy, but fuck it. Shido is my sexy, glorious king, so why not? Also, keep in mind, we're not ranking destroyer mode yet. Shido has the ability programmed in his brain to know where the goal is at all times within the goal box. His entire being is designed to make any form of miracle goal within the box. People say he needs a world-class passer, which is just not true, considering he farmed people in the 2v2 match with Igaguri as his teammate. But when he is given a world-class passer like Sai, something within his body activates, allowing him to make some of the most incredible shots in the entire world. He has insane flexibility, allowing him to take pretty much any shot within the goal box, no matter how awkwardly the ball is placed. I just put so much value in such a clutch ability. The fact that we're able to just randomly monkey send the ball near the net somewhere and he just may pull out a generational type shot is just so busted. Very few strikers in the entire planet can even do the shit he does. So for that reason, I'm putting his goal box send shit in 12th place. Now nearing our top 10, in 11th place, I'm giving it to Kaiser Impact. After rigorously practicing his kick and speed over and over again, he developed the fastest kick on the entire planet, giving his shots bullet-like speed and precision. We see this Giga Chad time and time again hit some of the most bullshit goals in the entire world. What's this? You put 5 people and the goalie in front of him blocking a shot course? Well, too bad. You left 1 nanometer of too much space open for him to shoot through like a bullet, unable to react to. Like, what do you even do against this? Kaiser Impact is nearly the same precision as Ren's hyper accuracy, but with immense times higher amounts of speed backing it. One, stacking Kaiser Impact with other abilities like Predator Eye, it allows this animal to literally get knocked over and still hit the upside down bicycle bullet nutmeg shot in the Ubers game. He was straight up the only player on Earth who could have made that shot. So yeah, after developing his Kaiser Impact, he became the unstoppable scorer that is destined to be a top pro player in the future. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in the top 10, going even further beyond the Kaiser Impact, we have the Kaiser Impact Magnus. The only downside to the original is the fact that he could really only make super fast, accurate, straight shots. But unlike Rin, he wasn't really able to make any curved shots. Until now. After learning the Magnus effect, he can not only make curved shots, but make insanely wide curved shots. Now, obviously, he still can't shoot in any situation like Rin because he needs the ball to be sitting completely still. But my bold prediction is next time we see him in the U20 World Cup, he won't have that weakness on his Magnus shot anymore. But for our final 9 weapons, they are things that affect more than just shooting ability. And our first truly busted ability is a Metavision. This is spatial awareness on every drug combined. By looking around constantly and pouring in information, you almost have a bird's eye view of everyone and everything in the field, so you know exactly what you can or can't do at any given moment. When Isagi first unlocks Metavision, he went from being a non-threat to the eye of the hurricane in the Manshrine match. He said he feels like he's gone from 3 dimensions to 4 dimensions and was instantly able to negative diff every person on the field except for the one other Metavision user in Kaiser. Compared to people without it, you look like a god on the field controlling everyone and everything. Now, obviously, pretty much anyone can use Metavision, but its effectiveness directly correlates to one's football IQ. Unlike the previous weapons, Metavision makes you exponentially stronger on offense, defense, assisting, stealing the ball, and everything in between. Basically, if you're a talented learner and want to have any relevance in the story, you'd best have Metavision or you're just going to be left behind. So here's the thing with Rin. He can't make nearly any shot on the ground with this perfect accuracy, but even he can't make the crazy aerial shots someone like Shido can. Well, that was true until you unlocked his Destroyer mode. Rin's Destroyer mode basically gives him all of Shido's shooting ability, whilst also multiplying all of his own stats tenfold. Now, maybe this is just glaze, but I truly believe Destroyer mode Rin is the absolute most skilled striker in the entire verse, even over Noel Noah. Now, I don't mean he's a better striker than Noel Noah, because he's obviously not, but I simply don't believe anyone on Earth has more shooting options plus accuracy than Destroyer mode Rin. Maybe that's just absurd glaze, I don't know. He could already before make any shot near anywhere. Now all of his stats have been times 10, plus getting the ability to make crazy aerial goals and getting the ability to hit perfectly accurate shots while slamming into people. Like Shido's Dragon Drive or Kai's Bicycle. Call it absurd glaze, but I could easily see a world where Rin scores either of these goals in this mode. Not to mention, it increases his offensive power and defensive power by a shit ton as well. In his Destroyer state, he's arguably a better dribbler than even Bachara, and was single-handedly stopping Isagi and Kaiser's full power team up at the end of the PX3 game. I don't know, bro. I feel Destroyer Rin could join any pro team and instantly make them better. I don't know. That might be crazy. This is probably the one I'll get the most hate in, but Nagi's perfect ball control and trapping ability is easily one of the most busted abilities in the entire verse. The only reason it failed is the idiot who was using it, not the ability itself. Could you imagine Isagi or Bachara with Nagi's ball control? They are both infinitely more creative and could make use of his ability a million times better than him. But let's just think about the times Nagi was locked in and what he was able to accomplish with this. Firstly, scoring his team their first miracle goal in the U20 game, pulling out his insane shot. Then in the NEL arc, he pulled out quite possibly the most single-handed, most impressive goal in the entire history of football with his 5-fold revolutionary feint volley. Like, what are you even supposed to do against this? And then finally, his best feat, which for some reason no one seems to talk about, is him almost diffing the World 5 by himself. Zantetsu passes to him as he catches it in between 3 pro players before flicking it up over all of them. Dada runs in, but he pops up with his leg, then hits it out with his shoulder, passing all of them before getting blocked by Loki last second. Let me repeat. At 17 years old, with only playing for 6 months, he was able to no-diff and get past 3 of the World 5 members with 0 difficulty. Bruh. The only time Nagi plays bad is when his mental is shit, and Nagi that is fully motivated with this ability has the potential to become the best in the world without a doubt in my mind. Now in 6th, we have Zai's counter dribbling style. I mean, what can I even say about this, bro? Easily the best dribbler in the entire story, except for one person. This dribbling style is too busted. In the U20 game, he decided to try like 5% when was able to negative dip all of Blue Lock, only being stopped by Rin's Destroyer mode because he underestimated him. Unlike Bachara's style, which is striking first, Zai's style is sitting back and letting you make the first move, then perfectly countering it. I genuinely believe with my whole heart and soul that less than 10 people in the entire verse can even stop a 100% trying Zai dribbling like this. I mean, barely even trying, he's able to whip out crazy moves like these, no trouble. Imagine a full sweating Zai. Like, I'm sorry, you ain't stopping him. And then for our best dribbler in the entire story, we have Batra's Ginga style, but perfected. Think of it like Ultra Instinct Omen versus perfected. Yeah, not much to really say here, but it's confirmed his dribbling style is the best on the planet. You basically aren't really stopping bro once he gets started, and his nickname is the Dancer because the people that try to defend him look like they're dancing as they fall over. So yeah, perfected Ginga dribbling makes the top 5 by default. And once again, my glorious King Sai at the top in 4th place. His weapon is actually super simple. It's just perfect passes. No matter where you are, he has the ability to give the best pass physically possible in order for you to easily bring out your max potential. An encounter with a good striker can bring a passer to new heights, and vice versa. And with playing with Sai, our boy Shido literally ascended, becoming near godlike in that match. Imagine what he could bring out of players like Rainer Barrow. Point is, for as simple as it is, being able to give perfect passes is just a top 4 ability in the entire show. And now, unlike Chiguru's super speed, Loki's god speed is in another dimension of power. Remember Kaiser's Magna Skull? Yeah, Loki stopped it easily, saying it was so slow. This ability barely has any explaining behind it. He's just fast. So fast you can't even react to his plays. In the PXG game, he was able to literally negative diff a full-powered Kaiser and Isagi without breaking a sweat, and his speed straight up makes him the closest threat to Noah Noah out of everyone, according to him. Now, we haven't really seen him do anything in the France game so far, but I have a sneaking suspicion he hasn't really started trying. But I'll say this, if he doesn't do much this game and it ends, he's gonna move down on this list a big amount because he hasn't done much. But as of what we've seen so far, his Godspeed is the absolute highest ranking world-class weapon. But now these top 2 are just broken. In the S+ tier, we have the 2 weapons that are just above world class. The 2 weapons that are so strong they break the scale. But in 2nd place, we have Rayo's copy ability. Seemingly only seen an ability once, he can copy it to 99% accuracy of the original. We saw the slightest bit of what this looked like in the Nigeria game, where he turns into a second Bachara, fucking them, then switching to Chigiri for the 44-degree shot. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Theoretically, he should be able to use Sai's perfect passing, Lavinya's dribbling, Sai's dribbling, Nagi's ball control, Shido's shooting sense, Rin's hyper accuracy, Isagi's two-gun volley and direct shots, and much, much more. When most characters invent or learn a new technique, he just takes it for himself. It's straight up busted. If Rayo isn't one of the best players by the end of this arc, he's just a straight up fraud because this ability is beyond busted. But what ability could top something that lets you copy pretty much every other ability? Well, this is Isagi's ability, and the reason he will be the best in the world. Isagi's adaptation is the most broken weapon by far. I mean, it's great and all if you can copy everyone, but what good will it do you if no matter what you do, he will always adapt to you and go beyond? Oh, what's this? You have the best team in the world that's never lost? Okay, what happens now when Isagi adapts like Maharaga and tears you limb from limb? The truth is, adaptation is the ultimate late throw in rock, paper, scissors. No matter what you do, having the ability to adapt to anything and everything is just busted and it's broken. He will either find a way to beat you or steal an ability like Rayo. But unlike Rayo, he doesn't just steal abilities at a 99% success rate. He takes abilities and evolves them to make them better. He took Narahari's ability to get around people and made it better. He took Nagi's juggling shot and made it better. And every single person that's gotten in his way so far, like Maharaga, he adapts to and crushes. Like, there will never be an ability stronger than this. And that's why he's my glorious, sexy, goated king. Yeah, that's me ranking every single weapon in Blue Hawk. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe as it helps a lot. Once again, thanks to my goat Yuri for being in the special grade source for a tier in the Patreon. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.